Counting on alum Jim Bob Duggar is getting a lot of attention following news reports about his massive score. He hasn't been active on social media since the CSAM arrest of his oldest son Josh in April 2021. Some of his kids have also stepped away from their church and begun to expose the questionable teachings of Bill Gothard. Josh's arrest also led to TLC parting ways with the Duggar family. But despite all the setbacks, Jim Bob just made a huge amount of money after selling one of his properties. Keep reading to see how he earned $5 million. Counting on, how's Jim Bob Duggar today? Jim Bob has made numerous appearances in some of his kids' vlogs and social media posts. Counting on fans were surprised by how slim he had become during Jed and KB Duggar's gender reveal party for their twin girls last year. Some speculated that he's been pursuing a healthy lifestyle, but some think his weight loss is a result of huge stress caused by Josh's imprisonment. Jim Bob has made numerous attempts to overturn the case of his son, but he couldn't do anything despite his wealth. Meanwhile, Jim Bob's wife, Michelle, has been more active on social media. She recently flew to California to watch over Jinger's newborn son. Many were also impressed by how Michelle appears to be aging backward. How did Jim Bob make over $5 million? According to reports, Jim Bob Duggar just made a land deal with Walmart. The massive retailer bought 16.3 acres of land from Jim Bob's company, Warehouse Space, LLC, for $4.7 million. The land was initially purchased by the Counting on alum for $600,000, making it one of his biggest profits today. The poster then revealed that Dowell Road is the road Jim Bob's mom used to live on, which is also close to the Duggar family's farmland. It was also revealed that Walmart bought another 27.45 acres of land adjacent to the property for $5.66 million. The poster believes that the property owned by 5J Farms is also from the Duggar family. Jim Bob's massive score also received many comments from fans. Remember how we grew up hearing that bad villainous men eventually get their comeuppance? Gestures at everything like what the hell? This is why it makes me mad when anyone tries to claim the Duggars were slash or poor. They've never been poor, even before TLC. They convinced a lot of people they were, but they've never been poor. Wonder how much they will donate to help the less fortunate. How many children are sperm and sperm supporting? 9 adult Sansom in prison, so add Anna and her offspring, plus themselves $5.66 million won't stretch much. Counting on, will Jim Bob Duggar and family return to reality TV? TLC has yet to address if they're bringing the Duggar family back onto the small screens. Some Counting on fans previously speculated that the network would bring them back after several film crews were spotted at Jana Duggar's wedding. However, it was revealed that they were only there as guests. Jana later uploaded videos from her wedding as well, implying that her special date would not get featured on TV. Counting on alum Jim Bob Duggar scores big with $5 million land deal amid family turmoil. Jim Bob Duggar, the patriarch of the once-beloved reality TV family featured on TLC's Counting On, has recently made headlines, not for his large brood or controversial beliefs, but for a massive financial windfall. The 59-year-old Arkansas native, who has largely stayed out of the public eye since the April 2021 arrest of his eldest son, Josh Duggar, on charges related to child sexual abuse material, CSAM, just pocketed over $5 million from a lucrative property sale. The deal has reignited discussions about the Duggar family's wealth, their fall from grace, and what the future holds for their public persona. While Jim Bob has remained silent on social media since Josh's arrest, his recent business success and the evolving dynamics within his family have kept fans and critics buzzing. Here's everything we know about Jim Bob's latest chapter. Jim Bob today, a slimmer figure and a family in flux. Since stepping away from the spotlight, Jim Bob has occasionally surfaced in his children's social media posts and vlogs, offering glimpses into his current life. One notable appearance came during a gender reveal party hosted by his son Jedidiah Jed Duggar and daughter-in-law KB Nakatsu for their twin daughters in 2024. Fans of Counting On couldn't help but notice Jim Bob's dramatically slimmer physique, sparking a wave of speculation online. Some praised what they assumed was a commitment to a healthier lifestyle, with comments like, "Jim Bob looks great. Good for him for taking care of himself." Others, however, pointed to the stress of his son Josh's legal troubles as a possible explanation. "That kind of weight loss doesn't look intentional," one Reddit user remarked. Josh's imprisonment has to be weighing on him.
Duggar
was convicted in December 2021 and sentenced to over 12 years in federal prison, a scandal that shattered the Duggar family's wholesome image and led TLC to sever ties with them. Jim Bob, known for his unwavering support of his eldest son, reportedly exhausted significant resources attempting to overturn the conviction, hiring top-tier legal counsel and filing multiple appeals, all to no avail. Sources close to the family suggest that the ordeal has taken an emotional and financial toll, though Jim Bob's recent real estate triumph tells a different story about his financial standing. Meanwhile, Jim Bob's wife, Michelle Duggar, has taken a more visible role in keeping the family connected. The 58-year-old matriarch recently traveled to California to spend time with her daughter, Duggar Vuolo, and her newborn son, sharing updates on Instagram that delighted followers. Fans marveled at Michelle's youthful appearance, with one commenter noting, "Michelle looks like she's aging in reverse. Whatever she's doing, it's working." Her social media activity contrasts sharply with Jim Bob's silence, highlighting a shift in how the couple navigates their public image post-scandal. The $5 million deal, how Jim Bob turned dirt into dollars. The real story grabbing attention, however, is Jim Bob's latest business move. According to property records and local reports, Jim Bob's company, Warehouse Space, LLC, sold 16.3 acres of land in Springdale, Arkansas, to retail giant Walmart for a staggering $4.7 million. The plot, located along Dowell Road, a street with sentimental ties to the Duggar family, as it was once home to Jim Bob's late mother, Mary Duggar, was originally purchased by Jim Bob for just $600,000. This means the sale netted him a profit of over $4 million, marking one of his most significant financial wins to date. But the deal doesn't stop there. Additional reports indicate that Walmart also acquired an adjacent 27.45-acre parcel for $5.66 million, bringing the total transaction value in the area to over $10 million. While the second property is registered under 5J Farms, speculation abounds that it, too, is linked to the Duggar family, given their extensive real estate holdings in northwest Arkansas. The proximity to the Duggar family's farmland and their history of strategic land investments fuel this theory. The Duggars have been quietly buying up property in this region for years, a local real estate insider told reporters. Jim Bob's always had a knack for flipping land. It's how he built his wealth long before TLC came knocking. The sale has sparked a mix of awe and outrage among fans and detractors alike. On platforms like X and Reddit, reactions range from admiration of Jim Bob's business acumen to frustration over his perceived hypocrisy. "Remember how we grew up hearing that bad guys get what's coming to them?" one user posted. "Then you see Jim Bob cashing in millions while his son sits in prison. What the hell?" Another chimed in, "This is why it infuriates me when people say the Duggars were poor. They've never been poor, they just played that card for sympathy." Others questioned how Jim Bob and Michelle might use their newfound fortune, with one commenter snarking, "Wonder how much they'll donate to the less fortunate." Oh wait, probably none. Indeed, the Duggars' financial status has long been a point of contention. Despite their modest on-screen persona, living in a single sprawling home with 19 children, they've amassed a real estate portfolio worth millions, bolstered by TLC earnings and savvy investments. Jim Bob's latest deal only reinforces the narrative that the family's wealth far exceeds the humble image they once projected. A family divided, the Duggar kids break away. Beyond the money, the Duggar family continues to grapple with internal shifts. Several of Jim Bob and Michelle's adult children have distanced themselves from the strict teachings of the Institute in Basic Life Principles, IBLP, a controversial Christian organization led by Bill Gothard, whose principles shaped the family's lifestyle and TV persona. Daughters like Ginger Vuolo and Jill Dillard have publicly criticized Gothard's doctrines, with Ginger even penning a memoir, Becoming Free Indeed, about her journey away from IBLP. This rebellion has reportedly strained their relationships with Jim Bob, who remains a staunch defender of the group's values. Josh's arrest further fractured the family, with some siblings cutting ties entirely while others, like Anna Duggar, Josh's wife, rely on Jim Bob and Michelle for support. Anna, raising 7 children on her own, has stayed close to her in-laws, though the $5 million windfall has prompted sarcastic remarks online about how far it might stretch. 9 adult sons, 1 in prison, plus Anna and her kids, and Jim Bob and Michelle, $5 million won't go as far as they think. One commenter quipped.